All right, I'm gonna take you inside and show you what's in here because we've got so many great projects. I've got Paula with me because, you know, she's got to take us all through. But I'm gonna try to walk backwards without tripping over a stump or something that we have in here. But what's great about this is, in addition to Chapter 1 that we've already launched, we are actually releasing some new designs at the show. Chapter 2 is what we call it, and that is going to be shipping in April. So you're going to see some stuff and you're like, wait, you didn't show that in Facebook Live? Not the first one, we're showing it here because you can see these new designs that, again, will be shipping in April. So let me flip this around. There we go, without making everyone dizzy. And just going to give you a quick pan just of how this all came together. We're inside the greenhouse now. So cool. Love this potting shed. Yeah, greenhouse, potting shed. I don't know. It's kind of a little man cave too. There's some steampunk vibe here because I decided it can't just be about gardens. It just has to be about like different things I'd keep out in a workshop, you know, including this random bird cage and a hand, right? That's got to be cool. So I'm going to just do a quick pan over here first just to share. These were all of those great samples that we released for Chapter 1. Absolutely love them, but I'm going to share some highlights of what's coming your way for Chapter 2. So hey everyone, thanks for joining us. People from Holland and everything, just awesome. All right, Paula, take us through. I'll follow you. I'll see if I'm a little shaky. Look guys, I've been holding my phone for the last hour and a half. I'm doing my best. Here we go.
All right, so we're going to talk flowers first.
Perfect.
We have, gosh, I don't even just know where to start. They're all so awesome.
Right, there's a ton of new florals, like the long stems, the great wildflowers. We've got, you know, large funky florals, but putting these together, just beautiful, right?
So let's talk about potted maybe.
Yeah,
because we've got the large etc tag. This is Tammy B, putting together just something really fun and relatively easy, you know.
Yeah, so this is a die on the bottom. It's called potted, and what it is, it's a Biggs die. It's a steel rule die. And when you cut it, depending on how you decorate it, you can either turn it into a clay pot, like in the middle. You can turn it into a little wine barrel. Yeah. Or you can turn it into kind of a galvanized or a ceramic pot. And I'll show you the dies after we show you all the samples. I'll just kind of show you the quick die lines for those. But pretty amazing to see just some die cuts. Gives it a foundation to put it on, right?
Yep.
Really cool.
So this is, she's laid these flowers out, and there is a little bit of 3D where some of the stamens have been popped up just a little bit in those.
Really cool.
But then when you're looking at a piece like this, I'm going to turn it just so you can see that they really can be more 3D.
Look at layering those dies
over that background.
Very cool.
So,
love it. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, Tammy's awesome. Stacey's here. Hello to the Netherlands too. Awesome.
So let's talk about this one. And
this one blows
we
my
know
mind.
That there's a secret, but we don't know what it is yet.
We need the secret on this
one. So
one.
this is Tammy B, and you can see that is...
That's a new intricate lace die, and that is a thinlet, guys. That background, that is cut out of fabric. So although it's a lace die, it's got this, it has that lace texture because after all, it's fabric. Unbelievable to use it as a background.
Tammy is going to do a blog post on this if she hasn't already. And she's going to tell us how she did this.
We need to know the secret because
that's linen.
It's just amazing, the detail, because that other tag, that etc. tag that Paula just held up, that used that same die in the background. But see, that was done out of cardstock and then painted over it. But I love the versatility of a die cut. After all, that's what it's about. It's about a shape. It's about a shape and doing stuff with a shape. Like this.
We're going to talk about this one. The trinket, it's one of our trinket tins. You'll recognize that from Ideology Booth, Found Relative. But again, the flowers have been made. This is Emma Williams. The flowers have been made into 3D.
So let me introduce you to one little detail of this tin, and that is called the trinket frame. If you look at that little kind of decorative frame inside the tin, that is one of the new steel rule dies that cut two different decorative, very, very detailed frames, but these frames fit inside the trinket tin. So you can see that the size of that fits inside that rolled metal edge of the trinket tin. So if you want to take that trinket frame, you can just use it on a card or a background, but if you have Ideology trinket tins, there's the other design. You simply put it in at an angle, pop it into the tin, pull it forward, and glue it on the inside rolled edge of that tin. Just so cool. I always try to connect the brands as much as I can. I think that's really cool.
So before we go over to Mo, let's do this one with Rochelle. I'm going to let you get that in close.
This is out of fabric.
And
different
Rochelle,
felts and fabrics.
Rochelle, that's all just glued on, correct? Your piece up here.
Wonder Under.
Oh, iron on.
Iron on. Love that. But those are the large funkies, and of course you can see that foundation. We've got that potted. And I love that you use that paper cut alphabet that we released last year. It's just cool because remember, thinlits, it will cut fabric.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it will, believe it or not.
Easy.
You can cut fabric with your thin dies, and I think that's so cool. You use your die cut shapes for any of your lifestyle projects. It doesn't always have to be a card. It certainly can be, but it doesn't have to be. It can even be mixed media.
Yep. So
Shout out to Mo.
So we asked for a trio. They could be hung together using potted and using the new flowers.
Yeah, all that funky on the etc. tags.
And this was all done with distress paint.
Oh my gosh. See, like, I already professed the whole creative admiration to Mo Saha because, like, a mixed media guru, taking die cuts that can have such a great vintage and soft vibe, but give it such an eclectic mixed media spin. And honestly, I want you guys to take a look at this. Not only the flowers, but if you look at a lot of that detail in the background, those little raindrops, those little scribbles, that was also an inspiration for that mixed media stamp set too. Because Paul and I looked at this and I'm like, oh, I wish I could scribble. Oh, I wish I can doodle. She's like, yeah, me too. So,
and the
inspiration everywhere.
In the background
yeah, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, those botanical lines in the background. So, love it. Very cool. And there again is that hand cut alphabet. Just think it's like paper cut, right? That's the upper and lowercase. So it looks hand cut, but those are dies.
And it goes fabulous with those flowers.
Yeah,
they just really go together.
Very cool.
So we're going to go back to our vintage vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm going to grab this one off of the shelf if I can.
Good luck with that.
I know it. This is Stacy.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn it just on its side.
Look at that specimen box.
Yeah, it's a specimen box we just got online. And
with glass on it, right?
Yep, it has glass on it.
Cool.
And it's amazing how she colored those butterflies.
Yeah.
She used tiny wire for the antenna. And then they're just pinned in like you would a specimen box.
So what's cool to understand about this one, and I think that's why we're so fascinated by it, is you're taking a die cut shape, a solid shaped butterfly. That's the new tattered butterfly, and you get those two sizes. But by watercoloring and just adding some pen work, it's as if you stamped it first or something, but you didn't. So Stacy, my gosh.
Look at the background.
There's samples.
Look at it.
They make me weep.
I mean, just look at that. All just pinned in there. But this is literally a box we bought on Amazon.
I need a typewriter. I really do. I see all her little type stuff.
I know.
Need a typewriter. Here's another one. Like, look at this etc. tag with those large funkies, and you can see that it's got some great little pieces, kind of paired in with the twigs. But I want to share that barrel. That is another one from Potted. Right, that's taking that and creating that cool wine barrel, and then those little flourishes on the bottom. I just think that's really beautiful. That's another new die. It's not called flourish though. What is it called? I normally know. Hey Rochelle, what is that new flourishy swirly die? What did I call that one? What name did I make up?
She's gonna find out.
I don't know, because that's what it is. It's a little bit everywhere. You've got those great little decorative details that kind of swirl around. They're adorned. See, yeah, because the swirls, they're everywhere. You'll see in another project that we're gonna jump to, but it's more than just a flourish. It's got a bunch of little scribbly bits that come off of it as well.
This one was Emma that we talked about, and then this one is Stacy.
Beautiful.
Little tickets.
Look at that. Very, very cool. Yeah. And this teacup, is this Debbie Adams?
Yes, it is.
Debbie Adams, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So cool.
So we asked Debbie Adams, we approached Debbie Adams, who used to work in
Debbie Adams and I go way back in the Sizzix world. That's right. So she agreed to do some samples for us, and a shout out to her. We just miss working with you, so I'm so happy that you created these. She has such a way of taking something authentically vintage like this cup and saucer and just adding some die cuts. So you'll see a lot of elements of Debbie's work that we're going to share with you.
Fabulous for a baby shower, a bridal shower.
It's just cool. She just has that way of kind of just repurposing something with some die cuts.
Natural elements with die cuts mixed in.
So cool.
Card by Stacy.
There we go. Look at that stitching. And some mixed media stamps. Way to cross promote those brands, Stacy. I love it. Oh, this one's cool because we have a new geo, right? We did geo springtime of that hummingbird and that butterfly and the bunny, but now we did geo insects, and there's a moth, a dragonfly, and a bee. And you can see here it's got just such a cool look. That's that crazy chick again. That's what she goes by, guys.
Absolutely.
I'm not being mean. That's what she goes by.
And they're different levels. You might not be able to see it on a camera, but some are flat to the surface and some are raised up.
So cool.
Gives great dimension to the project.
That is so cool. So I'm going to pan down and show one of the botanical and the geo, and then we're going to get into a little steampunk. So these seed packets are die cuts, right? Those are the wildflower stems. We've got that labeled font on there. And again, Debbie Adams rocks that, making it look like authentic seed packs. And then if you look at this pot, this vase, a lot of people said, oh, where did you get that? That is taking that swirly little die set and taking Adorned, gluing it on, painting it, and creating such a cool piece. Just looks like ceramic. And I got to go down here. I really do, because look at that. Look at those geo insects.
Yeah.
Look at the detail. Layers and layers of wings put in with a little bit of ink and grunge to create a card.
That's May Nazareth that did that.
Look at the one in the back. There's that dragonfly, so you can see the difference. It's actually all three on there. We've got the moth, the dragonfly, and that bee all on one card. I love the highlights of that color. So cool, right? Really? Stacy's going, oh my gosh, that pot. I know, right? I know. Taking a die cut and just like gluing it on. But Stacy, you should be, oh my gosh, this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were saying to this. So beautiful.
Look at how the tiny little pencil, the little book that opens up, and it's actually a little, look at this.
It's
it
just
actually
cool.
There's things inside of it.
Love it. So this is just taking a vintage book. We wanted to have kind of a journal in this booth. So opened it up just to show people that you can take an old book, kind of repurpose it, and love the use of all of these die cuts. So there's a little bit of mixed media with that honeycomb. You see the stems. But if you look at these lace pieces, right? This ornate lace, this is a new die cut. There's actually 4 different sizes of this, and this is in one set, and I love the detail of this lace because it does look like fabric lace. It really does.
It really does.
Unbelievable, the detail in it. But of course, with everything we have, you know, that softer look of botanicals. We also have, well, hello, a little steampunk, a little vibe on here. So take a look at these dies. Now, one of them is the filament. That's that light bulb. That's a steel rule die. And Michelle did these pillows. I think they're so much fun.
Tilt a little forward.
Look at that. Look at that pillow with the filament, and she's stitched on there.
And she's really used a metallic thread here so that it goes through just hand stitch the metallic thread up the filament.
So cool. Yeah, I love the thing of a steel rule die that we can cut those many layers of fabric, especially something that's big like that, and of course those alphabets.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just that's cute little.
Yeah.
It's darling.
Felt. Enjoy the journey. You know it. Now, as we look up here, you can see a lot of the different dyes. There is that filament. This one's cut out of mica, and look how cool that is, layered onto a card in addition to incorporating that labeled font and that trust your crazy ideas. And I love using the filament as the A. Gosh, your brain reads it, right?
Yeah,
it's just weird that you're like, wait, there is no A. No, that's what's great about that card. And then, of course, look at this new globe. I love this whole world globe. Yeah. Beautifully cut out of metallic cardstock, and of course it can have a travel vibe, or if you look up there in the back, a little bit of steampunk when you pair it with some gears.
It's Jan Hobbins.
Love that. And there is that filament bulb, and now it's paired with that geo insect. Oh my gosh. That's Emma, right?
Yes.
So cool.
Can you curl
I got
it
the caution high voltage.
Yes, like on that filament on Emma's project, can you see that electric at the top
Oh,
of it?
Look at that. That's
the
labeled.
Tiny labeled
wow.
Around the top of the filament.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Now we've got some even tucked back here. It was great because, I mean, I have to say that I love seeing all of these filament projects. And I said, I want to do a die of a light bulb. And they're like,
will people
why?
get it?
I'm like, because it's cool. Because for steampunk, it's just a great shape that we can accessorize. I love seeing that paired with the 3D gears texture fade. Look at that timekeeper and those steampunk parts. Oh my gosh. Did Stacy do that one with the little tin?
Yeah.
So cool. There's an etc. tag down here.
Oh, that's Jan, the big, and it has the dome.
Yeah, it has that dimensional dome. Oh my gosh. So cool. Yeah, mica. Just a lot of people are using mica on things just because it has just that great clear.
And look at how old. I mean, I'm sorry to say that is an old texture fade background.
There's nothing wrong with using old. That's right.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, and that's the thing about, I think, any of us as makers, you know, we see all of this cool stuff and we think, oh, we always want what's new. We're never going to use the old stuff. No, pair the new with the old, and you can create such cool things. Like here, you can see again that adorned, paired with a font. There's those butterflies. Those are old. Those are the detailed butterflies. Those thinlets that we had. You can see tucked back there. There's another Ideology trinket tin with that trinket frame. See how that little frame just really adds a nice touch of elegance. You probably go back to Ideology now and look at the video and wonder, what are those little frames? Well, that was just cut out using the new Sizzix die. So much cool stuff.
So let me pull this one.
All right, I was going to pull this card down.
I'm going to pull this card down because I want to do a comparison.
This had to be a handler on this one. All right.
So this is Vicky doing really steampunk.
Yeah, it's a whole steampunk part where you have like that porthole. We've got those great little hex pieces, the propeller. But it's very cool to see that die used as steampunk. But
and look how the clock is in the middle.
Oh my gosh, Ideology timepiece. I didn't even notice that.
But then look at totally different idea from Rochelle.
Yep, she made a porthole out of that with a little seahorse. Just wow.
It's two great ideas for the same die.
That's what it's all about, because a die cut, after all, is a shape. So I'm going to take you over and show you a couple other samples that I have on the other side. There's some great little travel pieces that I want to share with you, and then I'll show you the dies themselves. All right, there's a couple other pieces from Debbie Adams. All right, I'm going to take you around.
Yeah,
I gotta say, there's just like crazy cool stuff. Just mind-blowing. So I'm going to show you a couple other samples, and then I'll go over to the wall and show you the dies, because I think that's what's always really, really fun about seeing this. So here we go. Now we've got some of these new little tiny guys, right? Remember with the dimensional domes, we had all of these minis. Well, the dimensional domes needed to be something more than just Christmas, right? So I wanted to do these little travel dies, and all of these little guys, these are all on the same set. But what you can do is you can use those elements, and they do fit under the dimensional dome, right? But this element's all about enjoying the journey. So as we were talking about samples for the booth, and I said to Paula, you know, I wanted people to really understand that the domes could be used year-round, that these little pieces could fit in there. But these shapes are so great from a scale perspective, because you don't have a lot of mini die cuts. They can be used for other things. So I challenged her to reach out to all of these makers and say, figure out some other ways that you would want to use tiny dies. And look at these little travel journal covers.
This is Audrey Pettit.
Audrey.
And just repeatedly changing up color and being able to make the dies more than they are just on their own.
That's right.
Just doubling up things, cutting the bridge more than once so they can, you know,
for San Francisco, look at that, for the Golden Gate. Yeah.
The little yellow taxi for New York.
Or,
and of course,
just changing the color.
We gotta have a black cab if we're in London.
And you got the double-decker bus, the Eiffel Tower. So
and
clever.
just little pre-bought store-bought journals.
Yep. But Paula's holding something in her hand that's super special, because mine blown on this one.
I know.
Take a look at this.
This is Tammy B.
Tammy B took an Ideology trinket tin, took some side orders, right? That little airplane, took the labeled font of Go Seek Adventure. Now, on that new trinket frame, there's the frame in the tin, but then the inside of the frame she used as a label. And look at all of those little mini things she created. This travel little, well, it's a vignette, really. I just love it. She used a little island. There's a castle as part of the die set, because some people like to travel where there's a castle. Not sure who or where. You can see that globe die in the back, and the base of that is a vignette box.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That I want. That one's going home with me. That just makes me happy on the inside. Seeing all of those little pieces come together. Just really, really cool. And then, of course, a few other samples from Debbie, just, you know, taking like this ladle. A lot of people loved taking that vintage ladle, adding some little florals, and you can see here that geo insect. She's got that dragonfly cut out of metallic cardstock, adhered to the handle of that. Just really, really beautiful seeing those dies just repurposed, like used as just other things, just unique styles and unique shapes. And then I'm going to show one of the sample over here as I pan around in front of Rochelle, because this spoke to my heart. This was a sample. This was like a last minute sample. Debbie Adams said, you guys, I have one other idea. I'm just going to bring it to the show with me if you don't mind. And this is where she took the wildflower stems, those long stems, and she cut the same flower multiple times and put it in that watercolor set. and just colored the center of the flowers with each color in that watercolor set. How crazy is that? It's just cool. It's absolutely beautiful. So fun. I know, just really exciting stuff to see all of this stuff. It's just, oh, Tammy B said she'd be honored if I took it. Well, I'm taking it, Tammy B. Thanks, I will. One other sample, I'm just gonna share this birdhouse with you. Again, taking something and repurposing it with some die cuts. Again, that's Debbie Adams using that little lace and some of those flowers. Just, it's awesome. It's so cool. And of course, everything just sits in this awesome setting. And look how dedicated Rochelle is. She's demoing to no one because she's just making, because you can just do so many cool things with these dies. They're just amazing to play with the new detail of all these dies. It's addicting, isn't it? Really is. All right, I'm gonna take you over and show you the dies are hanging over here on the wall. Some of the chapter 2, and there's a lot of cool things when it comes to the different shapes. You can see right here, there is that adorned. You get all those great little swirly designs. And again, chapter 2 is shipping in April. Okay, you can see right here also those geo insects. Those are very cool. We've got that globe down there. That's really awesome. Look at that lace die. Right there, there's that trim, that doily. Now, another cool feature about doily is that it actually doesn't cut on either end of those shapes. I'm gonna kneel down just so you can see, which means if you take that die and you line it up, you can create a continuous, almost like it's a crochet. So you can just continue to crochet that trim, that lace trim. There's that labeled alphanumeric. Now labeled, it's that tiny font that you saw on all of those samples. But look at that piece count. That is not a misprint. 140 dies in that pack because we gave you multiples of all those letters and numbers, so you can use the sticky grid, spell out what you want, and you can cut out different words and different sayings in one pass, right? Then when we look down here, you can see there's the trinket frames, right? That steel rule die. We've got that great filament. Look at those steampunk parts right there, the porthole and the fan blade, right? It's pretty fun to kind of see what we do with everything and then just see the die shape, and you're like, I would have never really thought of that. So yeah, whether we have lace or doilies, so much detail. That's the one that was cut from fabric. Tammy B, we want to know your secrets. We want to know your tricks. And there, of course, look at these little mini travels. Those are all the elements you get in that travel set. In addition to that little globe in the base, you still get, whether you travel to the islands or the desert or someplace with a cute castle, the Eiffel Tower, double-decker bus. There you go, Statue of Liberty, the taxi cab, or the bridge. Just fun. And it's really nice that we have these designs in chapter 2 that, of course, complement chapter 1 that is already available in stores. So much great stuff. Oh my gosh. I gotta tell you, my hand is just shaking from holding this phone, but there's so much that I just want to share. Paul and I are like, we just got to keep talking. There's so much stuff that we've been saving all of these cool projects for way too long. We want to share them with you way too long. So we're happy to share them with all of you. And let's see, I think I have one more stop. I'm going to head over to Tonic because I've got another cool release that I haven't shared with anybody yet, but I'll go over and do that. So thanks for joining us on this Facebook Live marathon throughout Creativation 2019. I've got one more stop, so I'll be back on in just a few minutes. Thanks. Shout out from the Sizzix booth. See you later. Bye.